Welcome back to Globesweeper Hex Puzzler. Today I need to get my revenge on Stripes, because I was supposed to include that last time, but I failed. It's a very lengthy level and it's easy to make mistakes in. But we're also gonna do, like no other, Two-Face, and then get into the first Max Chain level. So, let's start off with Stripes again. So, there's a very lengthy line level, and because it's a line level, press the X button on your keyboard to mark all of the lines, and then we can unmark them as we complete the lines to make it easier to keep track of which ones are done and which ones are not. And I apologize in advance, because this is going to be a messy level. It might be hard to follow along with, because you can kind of go in many different directions at all times, and you'll have to jump between these two opposing centers and the three stripes between them. And yeah, it's just a bit of a mess of a level, and just try and keep your head while you're solving it, because again, it's easy to make stupid mistakes and stuff. So, we start off by looking at this 1 right here. The 5 here can only use one of these two tiles, so we'll have 1, then 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all of those have to be marked, and we will need to use one of these tiles, so this tile cannot be marked. That gets us a 1, and this 3, and this 3. So that line is done. Now this line is already done. We need 2 tiles, and we have 2 tiles, so these are unmarked. Now we can look at this tile, this line. We need 1 tile here, and this 3 needs one of these 2 tiles, so none of the other tiles can be marked here. Now, at this point, we get the 3 here, which will need 3 out of these 4 clues, or 4 tiles, but only one of these can be marked for this one, so we need these 2, one of these, and then this one cannot have this marked. In turn, that gives us a tile here for this 2 line, and then all the way up here we know we need one of these 2 tiles for this 2, so this and this tile cannot be marked. And that completes, we get this 3 here, which completes this 3 and this 1 line. We get a 3 here, so we can mark all of those, which completes this 2 line, and we can unmark that. Now this 2 only has one other option, and then this 2 is done. And now we can look at this line, which needs 3 tiles, and we have 2, but we know we need to use one of these 2 as well, which will in turn complete this 3, so this tile cannot be marked. And that gets us a 3, so we can mark those, complete this 3, and then this 5. And then here we have a 3 that's done, and the 2 there, and this final 2. So, that's as far as you can take the center portion before we need to dive out. So, let's dive out in this direction. This 5 line already has 5 tiles, so these 3 tiles cannot be marked. That gets us a 4. We can mark all of these tiles. And now I guess before we go onward here, let's look at this line. We have 2 tiles already marked for this 2 line, so these 2 cannot be marked, giving us a 3 here. And the 2 is now done, and then we mark the final tile for the 2. So, now, this line is done, and then here we have 3 tiles, so this final tile cannot be marked. This line is already done. Now let's move on up here. This 2 is done. The 1 there, 2 here. And then right here, we removed 1 tile, so there's only 2 tiles remaining in this line, and we need both of them marked. And that's as far as you can take this direction. Take it in this direction. So, now let's just move back and look at, I guess this is fine. This line here, we need 5 tiles in this line. We will need one of these 2, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, so these cannot be marked. But we can't really do much in here. Also, I guess I shouldn't unmark this yet, because it's not technically done. Right here, we have a line clue of 2, and we have 2 tiles, so these can't be marked. And now we can advance in this direction, in this stripe, by looking at this line. So this line needs 2, but we can only use one of these 2, because the 1 is here. So we will need 1 here, and then this one, and this one will be completed with one of these, so it can't be here. That gets us a 2, completing this 2, and this 2, and now we get the final one for the 1, and can unmark the 2 line. Let's mark these as well for the 3, which completes this 1. So let's just go onward here as far as we can, and that's as far as we can, so never mind. Now, in this direction, we have a line of 3 with 2 tiles already marked, and we need one of these 2 tiles, which means this tile cannot be marked. And now, here we have a line of 1, and we need 2 more tiles in these 3 tiles for this 3. So we can only use one of these, so we'll have 1, 2, and then this tile must be marked for the 3, and this tile cannot be marked because we need one of these 2. That gets us a 1, so we can continue there. This 3 line is done. This 3 clue, let's just mark that, or just the 1 line. And then let's just solve as many normal tiles as we can, up until that point. Here we have a 5 line with 2 tiles, and 3 more, so all of them have to be marked. And here we have a 2 line with 2 tiles, so none of these can be marked. Like it's a 4 here. And then here, we need one of these 2 tiles, and not this one for the 1 line. So we get that, and that line is completed. Now let's move on here. We get 4 tiles there, and 3 tiles here. These 2 completes this 1 line. And now we've removed 1 tile here in this line, and we need 2 more, and there are only 2 more tiles, so those 2 are marked, completing this 2, and this 3, and these 2 tiles for the 3 here. And now we can dive into the center again. So here we have a 2 line, and we have 2 tiles already, so these 2 cannot be marked, giving us a 3 here. I'm just gonna rotate this a little bit. And then these 2 tiles for the 3 here. Right here we have 2 tiles, so none of these can be marked for this line. And we get that. Now here, in this line, we again have 2 tiles, and we only need 2 tiles, so these are gone, and these are gone. Let's focus on the center first, I suppose, by looking at this 6 line here. So we can only use one of these 2 tiles for the 2, so if we count how many tiles we can put in this line, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So all of these have to be marked, which then completes this 4, so this tile can't be marked, and then we get that as the final tile. And now we just solve the tiles like normal, which now completed this line of 2, so these tiles can't be marked. And once again, just solve the tiles as much as you can. This 1 is done, this 4 here, and this 3. This 2 is now done. And now we can look at this line of 4, which already has 4 tiles, so this tile can't be marked. And now we can look at... what do we look at now? This line needs 1 and already has 1, so these 3 tiles disappear. Now, in this area, this will come up quite a few times. We have a 3 tile and next to a 1 tile. So to complete this 3, we need 3 out of 4 of these tiles, but we can only use max 1 of these 2, so we will need these 2, 1 of these tiles, completing the 1, so not this tile. And now this 2 is done. And there we go. Now, I think I'm missing something. I feel like there was something else you could do here that I'm missing. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, this 7 line as well. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 2 more in here, but we can only use one of these 2 for this 2 clue. So we get that one, and this one cannot be marked. And then we get a 5 there, and now this clue is done, and we get this. So there we go. That's as far as you can take that. Now we can look at this 6 line here. We have 4 tiles, and we will at most be able to use 1 here, so 5, and then this one needs to be marked. But that's as far as we can go in this direction for now. Now, if we look here, we once again have a 1 tile here. We can at most have one of these 2 tiles, so we will need this one to be marked for this tile. And we need one of these 2, so this 1 will be completed, and this tile cannot be marked, giving us this 3, letting us complete that line, and this one, and I suppose that's all we can do. But then here, we need one of these 2, so that'll complete this 1 line, so these tiles cannot be marked. And we have the same situation here, a 3 bordering a 1, so we need this one and this one of these 2, not this one. That completes this line, and gives us this 1. Now just like pick a direction to go in, you can go in whichever direction you want here. So this line is done, and that's as far as we can take that. So now on this side, these are done, we get these for the 3, this 2 is done, this 4, And now here, we need one of these, and only one in this line, so this tile can't be marked. And that's as far as we can take that, I believe. Yeah, so now the question is, where do we go? And yeah, this is where it's gonna be a little hard to keep track of, I think, and follow along, because I just need to sort of move around until I see where to move next. Right here, when we were checking off this line, we can continue in this area as well, with this 4. And then that gave us this tile for the 1, so that's done. This 4 needs 2 more. This 4 needs 2 more. And now that completed this 1 line, like so. But let's continue on here. We have 2 more for this 4. And that's as far as we can take that. So now, in this area we opened up, once again, we have a 3 and a 1. So these 2, one of these, not this one. And that completes this line, so that tile can't be marked, which completes the 3 here. And once again, we can go up or down, so let's go up here. Mark these 2. This 1 is done, and the 4. Just solve as much as you can normally here, before looking at any of the lines, just to keep it a bit simple. Let's continue on and solve these remaining tiles here. So this 1 line is already done, these can't be marked. And then we get the last one here and can unmark that line. So now, let's go back through and I guess just jump in on the first best thing we see. So here we have 2 tiles in this 2 line, so these can't be marked. And now we have a 1 here, and this 3, completing that 2. Here, we need 1 tile, one of these 2, so this 1 can't be marked. But then for this 2, we need the center square to be marked. So that completes that line. Alright, there we go. Now we can look at this 8. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all 3 of these have to be marked, which now gave us the tile for this 3. And we can continue on right here. Until that point. Now this line is done. And this tile needs 1 more. And now that completes this line. We have 3 tiles here, so this tile can't be marked. And now we can finally complete this center area. So this 3 needs 1 more. The 2 is now done. This 2 needs 1 more. This 3 is now done. This 3 needs 1 more. So there we go. That's all done. This 6 line I can unmark. And now we can move on here. 2 tiles there. 3 tiles there. This 2 is now done. And the 4 is done. Alright, so let's jump out again. We have 2 tiles here, so none of these can be marked. And then this 3 needs those 3 marked. Here, for this 3, we need 1 of these 2, and for the 2, we need 2, so we can at most have 1 here, so this tile also has to be marked. Now... what do you do now again? I've kind of forgotten. I guess we have to just move elsewhere. Right here, we have a line of 3, and we have 3 tiles, so these 2 can't be marked. And now here, we need 4 for this 4. We have 2 for this 4. We need 2 out of these 2, but we can at most use 1 of these for the 1. So we get this 1 of these, and not this 1. And that completes the 3 here. And now this 2 is done. And now we can look at this line. We have 2 tiles, and there are only 2 more tiles, so these 2 are both marked. And if we look at the neighboring 4 here, we can only use 1 tile here, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these 3 need to be marked. And now we can continue on in this area a little bit, like so. 1 tile in here, so that's done. And now here for this 3, we have 2 tiles. We will need 1 of these 2 completing this 1 clue, so this tile can't be marked. And now this 2 only has 2 more tiles to use. There we go. This 2 already has 2 tiles, so these can't be marked. We get the 5 here. Same as before here, we need 1 of these tiles, not this one. And that's as far as we can take that. We can't look at the 7 quite yet, but let's move on down here. So this 3 is already done. Just normal solving here of the tiles up until this point. And now we can look at the 7 here. So we have a 7 line here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we only have one more tile available in these 3 tiles. And for this 3, we need 2 more tiles here. So, once again, we need this tile, and then one of these tiles completing the 7, so this tile can't be marked. And now we can mark this one for the 2, which completes the 4, and gives us this tile for the 7. Alright, there we go. Now, this tile, this line, needs 2, and we have 1 marked, so this one has to be marked, completing this 3, and we can move on in this direction. Like so. This 4 is done as well, and this 2 is done as well. Now, this one, we can't say anything about. Again, now it's just about finding the next part where you can solve something. Right here. We forgot about this area. That's what I'm saying. This level is very windy, and like you go this direction and then you forget that you could go the other direction, so it'll be a little hard to follow along with. But this 2 is done, and we need only one of these 3 tiles, so this 3 will need 1, 2, and then this one. And we need 1 here, so not this tile. This 3 needs both of these, completing this line and this 3. Right here, we need one of these tiles, so not this one, and not all. That's kind of confusing. This is not the 1 tile for this line, so we go all the way over here. Now this one is done. Well, after we mark these 4, so there we go. This one line already has 1, and then we just solve these like normal. Now here. We have a 2 clue here. We have 1 tile on it. We need 1 more of these. But for this 2, we need 1 here, and then we will need 1 of these 2 as well, which will complete the 1, so this tile can't be marked. And that gives us this line here, which needs 2, but we can only use 1 of these for the 1, so we need this one of these, and not this tile. And that completes this line here. And completes this 5 line as well. Yep, so that's done. This 3 needs these 2, which completes this line. And this 4. And now I believe we can look at the 7 here. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so none of these 3 can be marked. This 5 needs both of these. Same deal here, we have a 3, we need 1 of these, but for the 2 we need 1 more, so this has to be marked as well. This line already has a tile, so these can't be marked. And then we get the 4 and the 3 here. You can mark all of those. This 2 is now done. And then here we have 1 tile and we need 3 more, and there are only 3 more. And that in turn completes this line of 3, so we have 3 already. These can't be marked. And then same deal here. We have a 3 with 2 tiles. We need 1 more here, which means for this 2 we can at most have 1 here, and then we need this tile. And now we have 1 and then 2, so this 3 cannot have this tile. There we go. Now this line already has 2, and then the 4, and the final one. Yeah, sorry, that's a very level. It's a very big level that's easy to get flustered in, and it's kind of taxing to talk through all of that, so sorry for some sloppy explanations here and there. Alright, now let's move on to Like No Other. Alright, so this is just a level with 3 separate little puzzles, and it's combining the area clue and the line clue. And because we have line clues, press the X button on your keyboard to mark all of the lines on the puzzle, and then we'll unmark them as we go and complete lines. So, let's first look at this area. We need 6 tiles in here, and we have 3 lines. And none of these lines overlap at all, because they overlap in the center, and the center is already gone. So, we need 6 tiles here. In this line we need 3, in this line we need 1, making 4, and in this line we need 2, making 6. So none of the tiles that are not on the lines can be marked. So we get this. Now because of that, we can look here at this 5. We have 6 tiles and we need 5 marked tiles in this area. And this tile, this line, can only have 1 of these. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th tile in here, meaning these 2 cannot be marked. And now, that completed this line of 2, So that's done. And now we can look at this 3, which has 2 and needs 1 more, which in turn completes this 3 row. And then this 2 clue, 2 area already has 2, so this can't be marked, giving us this final tile. Now let's move on to this one. Here you do not want to look at the central 6, that's kind of a red herring thing. Instead, we look at this line of 5 along with this 1 area clue. So, if we count the tiles in the 5, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we will need one of these 2, completing the 1 to complete the 5 line. So these 4 are marked, and this 1 will be completed here, so these tiles cannot be marked. Alright, at that point, we can look at this 7 here. We have 1, 2, 3. In this line, we can at most have 1 more, because we already have 1 tile here for this 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these can all be marked. And that completes this row of 2. So that's done. And this 1 is now completed. And this 2 only has 1 more option. So the 7 is done. This 2 is done. This 2 is now complete. So these are gone. And that also gives us this final tile for the 5. And this 2 only has 2 options left here. And then finally, this 3 needs 1 more, so that's marked. And this 4 has 4 tiles already, so this is gone. Now finally, the kind of trickiest bit of this level. In this one, you have to think about the overlapping lines. So in this area, we need 6 tiles. And in these 2 lines, we have 7 tiles total, but there are 2 tiles that are outside of this 6. So, if we just consider how many tiles we will have to use in these 2 lines. If these 2 lines both use the tiles outside of this area, we will still need 3 tiles here and 2 tiles here. So we'll have used 5 of the 6 tiles here using these 2 lines. Now if you look at this tile, this line, we need 3 in this area, so even if we use the tile here and here, the overlapping ones with the 3 and 4, we will still need a 3rd tile, so we will, regardless of what happens, need one of these 2 tiles to be marked. Because of that, we have 3, 4, 5, and then 6 here. So all of the other tiles here can be unmarked. Like so. And because of that, we also know that we will need 3 here, and the 4th tile has to be here. We will need 2 here, the 3rd tile has to be here. And in this one, we need only one of these 2, so these 2 shared tiles have to be marked as well. Now, we can look at this 2, which only has 2 tiles left, completing this 4, so these tiles can't be marked. And that completes this line of 4, so we can mark that tile. And that completes this 3 area clue, so these tiles can't be marked. And then the final tile right there. So that final one is quite a bit trickier than the other 2. Now, let's dive into... Oh my god, this is taking a while. Okay, I don't think I'm doing max chain today. I think we'll have to settle for just Two-Face and then leave it at that. Man, yeah, these levels are starting to take quite a while to do. But let's dive into Two-Face. So this one is also kind of tricky. You have to look at the overlapping areas of these area clues. So, to begin with, we have this area where we need 6 tiles, and then this area where we need 5 tiles. Now if you notice, there's only a single tile that is outside of either one of these. So this tile is exclusive to this 5, and this tile is exclusive to this 6. Because of that, this 6, if we remove this tile, if this tile is not marked, then the 6 would need 6 tiles in this area, which is all included in the 5, so the 5 would have too many tiles. So the 6 has to have the tile outside of this area marked, and then now we need 5 more tiles for the 6 in this shared area, meaning the 5 will be completed and cannot have this extra square marked. So we can remove that. And now we can solve this up until that point. And then now we could just flip it over on its head and go for this side, because it's the exact same thing. Right here, we need 5 tiles, and there's only 1 tile outside of this area of 4. So we need this tile marked, and then 4 more tiles in this shared area, meaning this 4 will be done, and this tile cannot be marked. So that's that. Now, I believe we have to go to... Oh boy, this is where I should probably, like, practice in between episodes again. I did practice this one several times, but still, it's easy to, forget. One moment here. I think it might be this area, the 8 and the 5. So, in this area, we need 7 more tiles. And if we look at the shared overlap here, or rather the not shared overlap, this can at most have 5 tiles in this shared area. And if we count the 8, there are only 3 tiles outside of this shared area. So all 3 of these tiles have to be marked. And then similarly, we will need 5 tiles in this shared area of the 8 and 5. So the outer tiles of the 5 cannot be marked. Now we can just solve this a little bit. These normal tiles. Like so. And these 2. And now, here we uncovered a lot. So if we look at this tile, not this one, keep that in mind, because this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tiles, but this one only has 8 tiles, so we know we need to mark all 8 of them. And that completes this 8, letting us unmark this tile. And now we can solve this for a little bit. All the way up to that point. There we go. And now... where do we go now? Now I think we can look at this area, because we just uncovered this entire row. So here, we can at most have 3 tiles in this area, and this 5 has 2 extra tiles outside of this area, and it needs 2 more tiles than the 3. So once again, we can mark these 2 tiles. We will need 3 tiles within this area, so this 3 cannot have this tile marked. Which lets us mark these tiles, like so. And now we can look at this 9 right here. Once again, not this 9, because if you look, these share the exact same area, but this 9 has 1 extra tile. So look at the right one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So all of these have to be marked, completing this 9, but then this 9 is now completed and cannot have this tile. Once again, solve the tiles like normal here. There we go. And now, I believe... no, that's not done quite yet. This area is done. The 5 and the 7 already has 5 tiles here, so none of these can be marked at all. And once again, we can solve this part. And now this 7 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll need this final tile for the 7th. And that now in turn completes this 5, so we can unmark these 4 tiles. And then, I believe, it's not quite finally, but right here, we have 7 tiles. Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 1 more, and we know it has to be one of these 2 because of this 2. So this tile cannot be marked, giving us a 1 and letting us mark that tile. Right now, this area with the 3 and 5 is exactly the same as we saw before. In this area, we can at most have 3, and then for this 5, we can at most have 3 in this shared area, and then there are only 2 tiles outside of it, so both of these have to be marked, 3 in this area, and this one cannot be marked. Same as before. And now, that gives us 5 tiles here for this 5, so these tiles are all gone. And 0 here, and these 2, and now finally, this area already has 3 tiles because of these 9 clues, so all of these are unmarked. So there we go. Pretty lengthy one. Alright, that's it for today. I guess next time we'll start with the max chain mechanic and other stuff. I don't know. My whole planning is kind of getting thrown out of whack because of levels taking longer or me messing up and having to redo them and stuff. So I'll just have to wing it a little bit while keeping within the 100 character title limit. Oh boy. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye bye!